Let me set the scene. It's the first day of school, and the teacher just got done explaining all the bullshit about his class. And then he has the worst idea in class activity history. Let's introduce ourselves! And for some reason, you're the first person he calls upon. And so now you have to answer the question, what do you do for fun? Option A, say you watch TV. Option B, say you watch anime. Option C, the safe answer, say you like to spend time with your family. And option D, the American DLC, you pull out your Glock and shoot the teacher. Now in big 2025, I would feel comfortable choosing option B, saying to the class that I like to watch anime. But if you wind back the clock just a few years, this is how the class would look at you. So what caused the great anime shift, where before it was seen as this weird niche thing, now it's a lot more mainstream and popular? That's not to say that anime is still not seen as weird by some people, and if we're being honest, a good portion of anime is really fucking weird. To answer what caused the great anime shift, I think we need to go in the past and see what the anime landscape was like, and maybe if some of the hate was warranted. Back then, I'm pretty sure you could literally tell someone you shower once a week and reuse toilet paper, and they would still be less disgusted than if you had told them you watch anime.
Todoroki, Midoriya, Todoroki, Midoriya. Wait, why are they both shouting each other's last names? They're fighting about which last name they use when they get married.
Sorry for making you watch that, but I think this illustrates the point that some of the anime community is really fucking cringe. And if you didn't know, those two characters which are being like fetishized or shipped are 15 and 16. And so the cringe content that these people make gets promoted because the algorithm loves the rage bait, right? This makes people have a really negative perception of anime. Sadly, the community is only half the problem. The other half is the three horsemen of weird anime. And I'm sure you know what they are if you've spent any amount of time watching anime. If you can guess all three, you're one of the good ones. Let's begin. The first is incest. Off to a good start now, aren't we? How many times have you tried watching a show and then it just randomly fucking hits you with some incest? Like, I think the best example of this is SAO. Like, why did they have a whole plot point about his sister being into him? And like, she didn't know because they were like in the VR game, which is so fucking stupid. Like, why? And then if you read the comments on those videos, like the clips of those videos, bro, it is pure fucking cringe. Let's go through some. Alright, let's see some of the comments on this video.
When you realize meeting her parents doesn't require you to leave the house. Remember, boys, if she's not blood related, she's free to be dated. If there's blood, be a stud.
Like, and then people wonder why the anime community gets a bad rep. What makes these problems worse is that there's like a clear subsection of people who actually enjoy these tropes. And so from the outside looking in, you just see these weirdos watching their weird ass anime and you're like, why? Moving on to number 2, can you guess it? That's right, lolis, which is basically pedophilia. I think we can broaden this category to just sexualizing minors. This is definitely the biggest problem for anime in general, and this also creates some really weird fucking communities around anime. And I'm willing to bet this is probably the number one reason a lot of people are turned off by anime. And the final horseman is, you guessed it, fan service. Fan service is the glue that holds together all these weirdo things, right? And what happens usually is that these three combine together and create the most atrocious anime we've ever seen. To see how common these tropes were, I went through the My Anime List top 100 anime, the most popular ones, and I counted 29 that could definitely fit this list and put someone off from watching anime. That's not to say these 29 anime are like really bad. Some of them are a lot worse than others, and some are fine once you kind of get used to the anime weirdness. But if you're new to anime, and you watch one of these 29, I'm like pretty sure you probably won't watch another one. I would say that some of the hate is definitely justified because, in my opinion, anime definitely has like some underlying problems as a medium. Notably the ones I just listed, but also there's a lot of exploitation and all that stuff in the anime industry. I would say it's this vocal minority who's giving everybody a bad rep because of social media and how those platforms amplify like rage bait. That's not to say all the hate is justified. Online, there's a lot of people and communities who hate on others just for enjoying something they don't necessarily like. How did we go from having such a negative view of anime to now it's a lot more positive? So what caused the great shift? And when did it happen? And I have the answer. It was during COVID, unsurprisingly. And so pre-COVID, it was in the middle, so it was half as popular. And this is like worldwide, which is insane. So during COVID, it literally doubled in popularity, and then it kept out a new audience, which is insane. Alright guys, I kind of bought a new mic like while making this video. So from here on out, the audio is going to be like 20 times better. So why exactly did anime almost double in popularity during COVID, but not other medias? What makes anime different? To answer this question, we're gonna use the 4 pillars of the anime boom. If you know all 4, you get this beautiful certificate. Alright, thinking time is over. We're moving to the first pillar, which is identity. What I mean by identity here is resonating, connecting, and identifying with a specific anime. In a survey done by Vox Media and Polygon, they found that nearly 2 in 3 of the Gen Z audience says that anime does a better job than other forms of media in telling stories they emotionally connect with. Let me ask you this. When you see people's PFP online, it's usually an anime PFP, meaning they kind of identify with that character, right? What I think happened is that during the Great Shift, people had a lot of free time and were isolated, and we know who that is. And what happened is they gave anime a shot and ended up connecting with the characters and the story. Moving on to pillar number 2, which is escapism. For those who don't know, escapism is just a coping mechanism. So when someone feels a lot of negative emotions, they might watch some anime, play a game, whatever distracts them from these emotions. This is perfectly normal and healthy in moderation. So after they gave anime a shot and identified with some of the characters, they kept watching anime as a form of escapism. And where does that bring us? To pillar 3, community. The anime community is something. There's a lot of positives, there's a lot of negatives. One thing I'm certain about is that if you really love a show, you will have no problem at all finding other people who also really love that show. And during hard times like the lockdown, a sense of community can be very important. I also think that watching anime makes it way easier to connect with people. The amount of friends I've made just because we watch the same shows is insane. And for these reasons, I think that community is one of the core pillars of the Great Shift. Moving on to the last pillar, the one that keeps us all watching, variety. Compared to other mediums, anime has a staggering amount of variety. If we compare the highest rated TV shows and the highest rated anime, we can see a clear gap in variety. This is because of how the industry works. The TLDR is that often these stories are written by a single author/illustrator. This allows them to have a lot of creative freedom. Oftentimes they make trash, cash grab slop, but when they don't, they make something beautiful.
And as we ride to certain death, we trust our successors to do the same for us! Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
Thanks for watching. This is actually my first video, so if you have any constructive criticism or just straight up hate, send it my way. If you like the video, like and subscribe because there's more coming soon. And with that, I'll see you guys later.